actually, it's the 10th coalition has finally broke out, with them deciding this is their time to take out the nation, the mighty French Empire. They believe it because, well, in the last few, coalitions, they've managed to push them back, which they are very impressed by. So they decide to go ahead and get rid of this empire. With Denmark realizing their chance of victory is like 2% at this point, they decide to just leave. Just leave. They don't want to be part of this war. They decide to just leave. Within Iberia, they lose pretty quick. Their loss comes radically fast. And well, they manage to move in deep into Iberia, taking over a big chunk. Now they manage to push back into Austria and Czechia. Well, they start pushing back in the German territories occupied, with France deciding to do stuff. But they're getting locked down in a two-front war that it can't win. Well, a British invasion heads towards France, with it deciding to surrender as it somehow ousted the person in charge. But that person, after being ousted, they sign peace. A ceasefire signed for a bit as they come up with terms. And during this time, well, a coup happens and Napoleonic France is back again after being brought back to the Republic of France. Well, Britain gets kicked right out of northern France quickly after this, which legitimizes the power in this country. As they're still continuing, the 10th Coalition thought it ended the war, but it failed. And now it's back. With them being locked up into the loss of the puppet part of the war. With the mighty Russia storming in with puppets and other nations from the other front line. And well, this isn't great. You're being invaded by two fronts. And what they're both trying to do is get to there as quick as they can to Paris. And well, with this control over the oceans, they decide to take the French islands over and land in southern Italy, where they get locked up in a stalemate again. With this country trying to fight on both fronts and failing. With Czechia falling. And then the fall of southern Italy happened. But they haven't decided to invade France proper yet. With Britain, well, maybe a bit, but not really French France. Well, the Russian troops are moving in. But there comes a problem in the boot and in the Alps, the Alpine puppet. They push down in Italy and they push back in the Alpine puppet. And even into Austria and Czechia. With Russia not having the best day in it. But then they take Munich, wiping out a sizable portion of the French army, a few 100,000. Maybe not a few 100,000, maybe like 50,000, that's significant. With the invasion of France beginning in the west. And well, this is where the Russian movement to the Rhine happened. And with this, they start moving into the Venice puppet. And to speed their advance here up, they decide to make an offensive here, cutting it off. Which leads to two fronts in Italy, leading to the fall of this. And then the area down by Rome ends up falling. With them moving north of the Rhine, and with them still moving the Pyrenees Mountains and the Alps. They move into mountainous areas and more to the Rhine, meaning France has natural borders. With a Russian offensive breaking out in the north and a British in the south. with Sweden also helping, with them taking the French city of Marseille in the south, with Britain landing in the north in multiple spots. And France is at its knees. They launch a final last attempt, with the race to Paris beginning, with the Rhineland falling to the Russian army. And while that happens, the British manage to take Paris. Well, they also take Bordeaux. And France falls. Let's see the peace treaty, starting with, well, how will they redo Europe? Let's see. But even worse, in this timeline, after this war, the world split, with Russia and a few nations deciding to go down this way. Well, they also get South France. And the rest decides to go another direction, towards redeveloping their resources and stuff. And their benefit is they also get northern France as a part of their territory. And they create the East and West League. And they don't like each other. That's all that you gotta know. But it's basically a Cold War has been started. That's better of saying it. But that's all for the What If Napoleon, the Napoleonic Wars Restarted series. And thanks for watching. If you want this continued, I will continue it for 50 likes or 50 views. No, 50 likes. If I get 50 likes, I will redo that. Well, that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!